We begin our Sunrise Smart Start with some breaking news overnight. Rochester fire crews battled a house fire on Ethel Street very early this morning.
First calls for this came in a little before 3, and as you can see in our footage, a lot of smoke and flames still shooting out of the home when our crews arrived. Details are limited at this time when it comes to a cause, but no reports of any injuries, and the house did appear to be vacant. We'll share more updates from RFD as soon as we get that information coming up on air throughout our cut-ins during CBS Mornings and online this morning at rochesterfirst.com.
Happening today, the suspect arrested and charged with killing a longtime Rochester business owner expected to be arraigned this morning.
Here's what we know so far. 42-year-old Tony Brown is charged with murder and criminal possession of a weapon after investigators say he walked into the food market here at the corner of Clifford Avenue and Miller Street Sunday night and shot 30-year-old Ali Saleh at close range multiple times. He died at the hospital. Police say Brown was found later and arrested not that far away, and they recovered a handgun and more evidence linked to the case. There was a vigil, a balloon release held last night in honor of Saleh outside his store, and we spoke with loved ones and customers remembering him as such a kind man known to look out for everybody in the neighborhood.
I knew Ali since he was probably like 12 years old, and every time I walked in the store I saw a smile, straight up. He like literally every time I walked in the store and saw his smile, it was Ali, no matter what.
Saleh leaves behind a wife and kids. Investigators tell us they do believe the homicide was in retaliation for an argument that happened at the store several days ago involving an associate of Saleh's. Brown, the accused killer, is due in court at 9:30.
Counselors will be on hand today at Rochester's School of the Arts after a 15-year-old student fell from the roof on Monday. At last check, that teen remains hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. Officers say the student was having a mental health crisis and fell before the first responders were able to get to the victim. A hold-in-place procedure was enacted at the school throughout the afternoon. Parents share their concerns with News 8, wondering how did the student manage to get on the roof.
Where was the SSOs? Where were the adults? How did the child even make it up there? Like, you can't even assure us parents the safety of our children. Like, it makes me not want to send my kid to school. It makes me want to homeschool my baby.
I don't know if I would be able to step back into a building that I knew that happened to my friend. There's probably going to be some guilt, too, from those friends, unfortunately, feeling like they maybe missed something or could have done something more. And I think they just need arms around them and support this week and for a while.
RCSD's interim superintendent, Dr. Demario Strickland, released a statement saying, quote, "Today was a difficult day for our school community," adding that events like this can have a lasting impact. Families, you are encouraged to reach out to the school if you have any concerns. And if you or someone you know or love is experiencing a mental health crisis, remember, you can always find free 24/7 help available by calling or texting the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 988.
We do expect to learn more with updates today on a deadly three-car crash in Henrietta that claimed the life of one person yesterday afternoon, and 3 others were sent to the hospital. It happened on Brooks Road just after 3. The 3 victims hospitalized have injuries described as serious. 2 of them are children. The identity of the person killed has not been released to the public. The cause of that crash remains under investigation.
We have new updates this morning for people who've been detained after an investigation on Lehigh Station Road in Henrietta last night. Deputies tell us just before 8 p.m., a woman called 911 asking for help after she said that she had been robbed. That scene back open after it was shut down for several hours. No injuries there to have been reported, and the investigation is ongoing.
Reaction this morning to top officials with the Trump administration texting war plans for upcoming military strikes in Yemen to an encrypted but unsecured group chat that did include a journalist. The editor-in-chief for The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, published a story about the security breach Monday. Top Democratic lawmakers are calling for an investigation into why a highly sensitive conversation was sent back and forth on a commercially available messaging app. The chat appeared to include the Vice President and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. The National Security Council later said a message thread included in Goldberg's article appeared to be authentic. Still, Hegseth denied it.
This is a guy that peddles in garbage. Nobody was texting war plans.
President Trump was asked about the report shortly after it was published. He said, quote, "I don't know about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic," end quote.
Well, you might have heard this before. The theory that the weather this time of year, when it goes from hot to warm to cold to very cold, can that make you sick? But is it true or not? Maybe an old wives' tale.
Has to be true, right? That's what we grew up thinking.
Yeah,
Ron
y'all
Spitzer interviewed a local expert to find out what is really the truth.
Yeah, right. If your mom said it had to be true, but I hate to break it to you guys. Yes, for the most part, this is a myth. You will not get a cold because your hair was a little bit damp when you go outside. Now, we're not talking about severe temperature like bitter cold where you can get frostbite or hypothermia, or extreme heat where there's a risk of heat stroke or dehydration. This is specifically for something like the flu. Now, to protect yourself from getting sick, you should take care of yourself with the basics: sleep, hydration, take your medications, have a healthy diet, and so on. Louis Papa, a professor of clinical medicine with URMC, calls this cold weather blame game guilt by association.
When it gets cold, we all gather indoors. And when we gather indoors, it gives, viruses and bacteria that have a billion-year head start on us, the circumstance and the opportunity to infect us. So naturally, people think, it's because it's cold outside, or because I didn't wear my jacket. It really has nothing to do with it. The virus just needs you to be in proximity so that they can infect you. And that happens more in the winter because it's cold and we gather, and there's more holidays and gatherings. So it's more guilt by association.
This is true for the general population, but Papa adds that if you already have health issues, you may be more sensitive to weather changes. In this case, talk to your healthcare provider. Guys.
Still love our moms and guardians, though. Thank you, Ron, for sharing. Sunrise traffic updates here. Main expressways looking pretty good around 390, 490, and 590. The one accident we've had the last 30 minutes with first responders on scene of an issue 531 westbound and Elm Grove Road there on the west side. We'll check traffic again at 7:25. For now, your weather headed out. One more time with Leanne.
Cloudy. Maybe grab the waterproof heavy jacket. You got some random rain and snow showers throughout much of today. Same thing for tomorrow. We dry out for Thursday, and most of Friday, scattered showers moving back into the area. And then that weather system that we're keeping our eye on for now, but I don't think there's any need to raise alarm at this point of time.
Yeah, just going back and forth almost every day.
Hey, you know what? I see 55. That's that's a good day.
Yeah, 55 in the scattered showers. We might find a break in the clouds at some point to enjoy that.
Yeah. Soak up that vitamin D.
I'm staring at the 41 for the 1st of April next week. We'll see. Got a week to go.
50-degree guarantee. Yeah. I don't know.
We certainly shall. Who knows?
That does it for us. We'll see you back here in 30 minutes.
CBS Mornings is next. Have a wonderful day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather.